our examples on doing binomial expansion using the Pascal's triangle. The second question here, the second example here says we should expand x minus 2y raised to power 5 and simplify our answer. So the first thing we do here is to go to our table of coefficients and write down the coefficients for doing a plus b raised to power 5. Or write down the coefficients when n is equal to 5. When n is 5, our coefficients are 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, and 1, as shown in this circle. So the first thing I'll do here is very simple. I'll just write down my 1 times take x, raise it to power 5, times take minus 2y, raise it to power 0. So that's the first term in my binomial expansion. The second term now is also very easy. I'll take 5. So I'll write down my coefficient 5 times I'll take x, raise it to power 4, times I'll take minus 2y. I'll take minus 2y next. Raise it to power what? I'll take x, raise it to power 4, and take minus 2y, raise it to power 0. So that's my second term in the expansion. The third term in the expansion will be, first thing, I'll write my coefficient for the third term, which is 10. Take x, raise it to power 3, I mean this x. Then take minus 2y. Take minus 2y, raise it to power what? Raise it to power 2. Yeah, I'm sorry, I made a mistake here. I should have raised this to power 1. So x raised to power 4 minus 2y raised to power 1. Then here, x raised to power 3 minus 2y raised to power 2. So that ends my third term. For the fourth term, I'll come here, write my coefficient 10. Write my coefficient 10. Take x, raise it to power 2 now, times take minus 2y, raise it to power what? To power 3. So the power of x is going to start from 5, decrease to 4, 3, 2, and the power of minus 2y will start from 0, increase to 1, increase to 2, and increase to 3 in the fourth term. My fifth term is next now. I'll take the coefficient of the fifth term. I've done first, second, third, fourth term. I'm not going to the fifth term. So for my fifth term, I'll take the coefficient for the fifth term, which is 5. Write x raised to power 1 now, times minus 2y raised to power what? 4. Then in my sixth term, which is the last term, I'll take the coefficient of the last term. Write 1, take x, multiply it, take x, raise it to power 0 now, times take minus 2y, raise it to power what? 5. So that's the first step in my expansion. So next is to simplify each of these terms. Each of these is a term. I'll go ahead and simplify the terms now. So this is, these are my terms. Take note of how we identify each term so that it doesn't look confusing. So I'll go ahead, simplify this. This is the same as 1 times x raised to power 5. Here, everything is raised to power 0. Minus raised to power 0 is 1. 2 raised to power 0 is 1. Y raised to power 0 is also 1. So 1 times 1 times 1, that will give me 1. Everything in the bracket raised to power 0 will give me 1. So that's my first term. My second term in the expansion, very simple. I'll write my 5 times x raised to power 4. Minus raised to power 1 is minus. I'll write my minus. 2 raised to power 1 is 2. I'll write my 2. Y raised to power 1 is what? Y. I'll write my y. That's my second term. Let's go to the third term. Very simple. The third term here is this. So first, I'll write the coefficient 10. Write my x cubed here I now need to evaluate the bracket. Minus squared. Everything in the bracket is squared. So minus squared is what? Minus times minus plus. So that disappears. 2 squared is what? 4. So I need to write 4. Y raised to power 2 is y squared. So I'll write y squared. Is that clear? So next is what? I've done first, second, third. Next, first, second, third, fourth. Next is my fourth term. This is first, second, third term. I've done that. 1, 2, 3. I'll go to the fourth term now here. So the first thing to do in the fourth term, let me reduce the pen's thickness. So I'll write my 10, then x raised to power 2, 10 times x raised to power 2. Then I need to evaluate this bracket. Minus raised to power 3, that's minus cube. Even is odd, so odd is even. So odd is negative, So minus cube will give me minus. Then 2 raised to power 3 is what? 8. 2 raised to power 3 will give me 8. Then y raised to power 3, what will it give me? I need you to, follow me. That's why I'm changing my pen. That will give me y raised to power 3. So that's my fourth term. This is my fifth term. I'm going to move to this now. This is my fifth term. So first thing, I'll write down the coefficient. 5. My coefficient is 5. So I write down the 5 times x raised to power 1. That's times x. X raised to power 1 is x. I'm working on this term. So I write down the 5. X raised to power 1 is x. Minus raised to power 4. We said even is positive, odd is negative. So minus raised to power 4 is plus. Plus will disappear. 2 raised to power 4 will give me 16. Y raised to power 4 will give me y4. So that's 5 times x times 16 y raised to power 4. That's my fifth term. So now I'll go to the sixth term, which is the last term here. This is my last term here. So I'll write my 1. X raised to power 0 is also 1. So I'll write, let's take it one at a time together. I'll write my 1 dot 1 dot, the last one needs evaluation. Minus raised to power 5 here. Please follow me. Minus raised to power 5 is minus because, odd is negative. So minus raised to power 5 is minus. 2 raised to power 5 is 32. Then y raised to power 5 is 1. So let me write that in red to distinguish it. Minus 32 y raised to power 5. So after doing all this, all I need to do now is to put my terms together, one after the other. So here, 1 times x raised to power 5. From the first term here, I'm starting from the first term here. 1 times x raised to power 5 times 1 will give me what? X raised to power 5. Plus, what's the second one? 5 times x raised to power 4. The second one is here. 5 times x raised to power 4. So here, I need to be careful. This is plus 5. I'll multiply all the constants. Plus 5 times minus 2 will give me minus 10. Then x raised to power 4, y will be written together with it. So I'm going to clean this. My term should be minus 10 x raised to power 4, y. So that's the simplification of the second term. Let me go to the third term. In the third term, my constants are plus 10 and 4. So 10 times 4 will give me 40. So I'll just write 40 and write x cubed y squared beside it. So that's what? Plus 40 x cubed plus 40 x cubed y squared. That's my third term. So I'm going to go ahead now and simplify the fourth term. My fourth term is here. I need to be careful. There's a minus. Plus 10 time multiplying the constants involve negative sign here. So plus 10. First thing is to multiply the constants. Plus 10 times minus 8 is minus 80. So my fourth term is minus 80 x squared y cubed. So I'll go ahead and write that. Minus 80 x squared y cubed. That's my fourth term. Let's go to the fifth term here. Okay, the fifth term first on this page. My fifth term is plus 5 times plus 16, the constants. 5 times 16 is 80. And that's plus 80 x y raised to power 4. That's my fifth term. Then my last term, which is the sixth term, plus 1 times plus 1, that's plus 1. Plus 1 times minus 2, that's minus 32. Sorry, plus 1 times minus 32, that's minus 32. So my sixth term is minus 32 y raised to power 5. So this is the expansion of x minus 2y. This is the expansion of x minus 2y raised to power 5.